Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. The question is, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi Imam sahib. Are people who work in healthcare, medicine allowed to touch the opposite gender because it's part of their job? So in the healthcare and medicine, meaning like doctors, nurses, can they touch the opposite gender? Like a male to a female, female, a male, touching each other to check it out, check their bodies and whatever the issues are. As much as we can, stay away from it, as much as we can. If a doctor, you have nurses, so the nurses can check. Right? You can bring a nurse in, check. Emergency, that is something else different. The opposite, if a male nurse is there, can check for a female doctor. That can be there. They have assistants, right? They have assistants with them, doctors, students who are there, so they can check the patient. If it's extremely in a situation that you need to touch, you need to look, of course wear the gloves. And as much as we can, we should be lower our gazes. So try our best not to be involved, but if we have to, sometimes they happen, let's say for example nurses, they have like a male nurse. They work in a place, in a hospital or in a clinic somewhere, in a hospice, these type of places. They have co-workers, they know each other, hi, hello. So if they are comfortable, they've been working. So if a male nurse has to go and look at a female patient, he can request a co-worker, a woman, a female, that you can go and see, and I will see a male nurse, a male patient. As much as we can. It's all about the effort, how much we can make and avoid. But if there's an emergency, it has to be seen, just make sure that that we are wearing gloves, and the other, to be safety, someone is with you. Someone is with you for a witness. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ghaliban Aisha radiallahu anha says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never touched a woman. Never, a stranger. Even the bay'at used to happen, taking the oath in Islam under the hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The men, they used to, but with the women, it was just verbally. They used to touch, the men, the Sahaba, they used to touch the hands of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they used to get bay'at. Islam, we enter into Islam. But for the women, the Sahabiyat, they used to just repeat after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they used to say, no touching. What must one do to become an Imam? Well, you have to go and study in the Islamic madaris, universities. They have separate madaris. Where I learned, it was 8 years. 8 years. You get double masters in Islamic studies and Arabic. So you have to, that's the minimum, 8 years. Then if you want to do specialization in fiqh, like fatwa, giving fatwa, that is, in some madaris they have 2 years, in some madaris they have 3 years course. That is something extra. But the minimum is 8 years. If you have time, age, no problem. As I said this before. Alright? The Sahaba became Hafiz 60 years, 65 years, in 70 years. Because the Quran was revealed in 23 years. And Rasulullah was at the age of 40 when the first wahi came, and he was 63 when it ended the revelation, the Quran, the full Quran. So age is not a problem. Yes, if someone has time and money and everything, that can be done for the sake of Allah. But have to go to a proper institution to be learning with the teacher, because Islamic education is special. Why? Of course, because it's Islamic, it's Deen, our Deen. Because we learn Quran and Hadith not only Quran and Hadith, but minimum 25 different subjects we learn to understand the Quran and to understand the Hadith. You will be surprised that the Hadith that we just easily open and read to it, it's not that easy. The Sahih Sitta, Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawud, Tirmizi, Nasai, Ibn Majah, Muwatta Imam Malik, Muwatta Imam Muhammad, Tahawi, all these are in our last year. Can you imagine that? These are all books of ahadith are in the 8th year. It means that we don't learn it in the first year. So all these 7 years, we learn different usul and subjects to understand the ahadith, right? So khair, inshallah, if you have a good intention to become an imam, you have to go into a proper institution. What are the conditions that make it permissible for a man to marry more than one woman in Islam? Did I go through this? I don't know. First of all, we need to understand Islam does permit more than one, not more than 4 all at once. But again, it is not farz or wajib, number 1. Number 2 is, we need to make sure that which country we're living in, does that country allow us to do it or not? Number 2, if we are in a place where in a country where it does give the permission that you can do more than one, the condition is adl. We have to give adl between the wives. And believe me, it's not easy. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned a husband, a man who does not give adl between more than one wives will be presented before Allah as paralyzed. Half body will be paralyzed. He's not doing just. It's not easy, but yes, if someone wants to do it. But again, I always say this: before getting into marriage, study about what is marriage is truly. It's not only just fulfilling the sexual desire and that's it. No, it's more than that. So before we know, okay, I'm in an age to get married, or I'm about to get married, learn about it. What our deen says. What are the rights of the wife that I'm marrying, or the girl that I'm marrying, or the rights of a husband. All this, right? So it's very important what we're getting into. And a lot of times it happens that we have no idea what we're getting into, and very quickly divorces happen because we don't know the responsibilities of a husband and wife. 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, we enjoy ourselves, and then we get bored. We don't know what to do then. This is a big problem. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa alaikum assalam. Is having a crush haram? A fun? He's laughing the most, so maybe he might be it. Okay, having crush haram. If you have something in the heart, in the mind, Any sin that you do not do, you do not act upon, it is not haram, it's just your thoughts. It doesn't become haram. Nor you get a sin out of it. A good deed, you make that intention, you already get the reward for that intention. And then you do it, you get more reward while doing it to fulfill it. But this is the mercy of Allah, is that if any wrong thought comes in, no sin, until unless you act upon that intention and the thought. So having a crush on a girl or on a woman, or a woman has a crush on man, in reality we're human beings. Men are attracted to women, women are attracted to men. Naturally, this is fitrah. And it does happen sometimes that someone, you like her or you like him, and this happens, but it's all in. It's not like you go and say to them, and okay, I want to date you, I like you, and then that becomes haram. Otherwise, sometimes these thought comes, just do istighfar and tawbah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa alaikum assalam. What is the ruling for praying someone who is late to join Jamaat? Like, for example, an Isha prayer, say someone joined after 2 rakat. Do he or she needs to recite other surah after Fatiha for their rest part of the salah? Jazakumullah. So, in the fiqh term, there are 2 things you can remember. Just want to mention this. One is that a person starts with the Imam, and for some reason he had to break the prayer. Let's say wudu broke. He goes, makes wudu, and joins again. This person is called lahiq. Lahiq. Okay. Second thing, a person doesn't start the salah with the Imam. He comes late. He's coming. The Jamaat has already started, and he comes late. 1 rakat missed, 2 rakat, and then he joins. This person is called masbuq. Person is called masbuq. So this person, when he's going to stand up after when the Imam finishes, let's say as he asked, the brother or sister asked, 2 rakat has been missed. The first 2 rakat, right? So when the Imam finishes the salah, he stands up, he's going to be reciting everything. Fatiha, surah. Okay, so he's going to be reciting it. So this is what the questionnaire asked. That needs to recite other surah after Fatiha or not? Yes.
If in the 4 rakat salah he missed, he joined in the last rakat, so he still has to do for 3 rakat then?
Yeah, so 1 rakah he joined, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So then when he's going to stand for the first rakah, and then he's going to then Fatiha, surah, and then he's going to sit down for tashahhud, and then the remaining 2.
But in the remaining 2, both he has to do Fatiha with additional surah?
No.
So the ruling was like before going to ruku if you join, or before actually standing up from ruku.
Yeah, after the ruku.
If someone joins at the sajda time,
Then
that
the rakah is going to, you have joined the rakah in ruku.
Yeah.
After ruku, the rakah is end. You have to complete it.
No, my question was on, I'm sorry, I'm kind of interrupting on this one.
It's okay.
But let's say it's an Isha prayer and he missed all 4. He kind of joined in the Tashahhud last rakat.
Yeah. So he has to pray as he has begun this. So you're gonna do the 2 rakat. In the first 2 rakat, Fatiha, surah, then tashahhud, and then the last 2, Fatiha only.
Fatiha.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Umar. Wa alaikum assalam. I am interested to know the answer to following questions. And in bracket it's Hanafi fiqh. So he wants, the brother or sister wants to ask about the Hanafi issue. Okay, number 1. Is it allowed to pray Nafal Salah after Fajr time enters before praying Sunnah? Yes, it is allowed. Fajr time has started. A person didn't pray Sunnah of Fajr. He can pray 2 rakat, 4 rakat, he can pray. But it will not be counted as tahajjud. It will be a regular Nafal prayer because the Fajr time has begun. Right? So that will not be counted as the tahajjud prayer. It will be counted as a regular. You can do that, no problem. Number 2. And by the way, all the ulama say that it's not, there's only difference of opinion. Number 2. How about praying Nafal Salah after Sunnah before Fajr? So once a person prayed the 2 rakat Sunnah, and then there's time in between the Jamaat, actually there is no prayer, any proof from Rasulullah ﷺ that he prayed anything in between. What he used to do, he used to pray the Sunnah of Fajr, and then he used to lay down for a bit rest, putting his head, right? And then when the time of Jamaat used to come, Bilal radiallahu anhu used to tell him that, Ya Rasulullah, the Jamaat time has begun. He did not sleep, he just rested. There was no prayer. A person should not make an habit. What I suggest is that instead of praying Nafal, let's say in this between, pray Qada. If there is any Qada, any prayer that has not been prayed before in his life, should be praying in that. But if someone sometimes wants to pray Nafal too, that is, it's not haram or anything, but do not make any habit of it because it's not proven. What Rasulullah ﷺ, the habit was, he prayed 2 rakat Sunnah of Fajr and used to lay down a bit, rested towards the Qibla, lay down, and then the Jamaat. Number 3.
The prayers at home, 2 rakat.
Did he pray
2
at home?
rakat of prayers at home.
The Sunnah? Yeah, wherever he prays at home or prays in the masjid, anywhere. But you are asking, should he pray at home?
The sunnah is to pray at home.
Yeah, any sunnah, any nafil. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the habit was, he used to pray only farz in the masjid. The sunnah and nafil, he used to pray at home. That was his habit. But if someone, let's say, after the Jamaat, the sunnah and nafil he used to pray, if a person thinks that, no, I'm going to go back home, I'm going to get busy, there's some guests and all that, sometimes it happens, or traffic maybe, then of course to pray and then leave. But the habit should be in the home, the sunnah and nawafil.
Is there any particular reason for that? Like he used to pray first in masjid and then sunnah?
Yes, because in the home, in one of the hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not make your homes as graveyards. That there is no prayer. And many of time what happens, the women are sometimes in their periods. They don't have no prayer for a week or like 8-9 days. So there will be no prayer in the house in those days. So make a habit of it. It's barakah. And the other thing is a training for the kids as well. The kids, the small kids that are at home, they see you praying. Right? So that's also. Number 3, and the last. If someone has already prayed Fajr Sunnah at home, can he pray Tahiyyatul Masjid Nafal Salah before joining Fajr Jamaat in the Masjid? Not the question. If someone has prayed Sunnah at home and then comes in and there's still time for the Jamaat, wants to pray Tahiyyatul Masjid. Again, Tahiyyatul Masjid, it is Nafal, it is not Farz or Wajib. Number 1. Number 2 is, again what I am saying, is that no prayer is proven in the hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed between the Fajr Sunnah and the Jamaat. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to lay down and rest, and when the Jamaat time he used to come straight in the masjid and did the Jamaat. But again, if someone wants to come, there's nothing wrong. Wants to do it, can do it. There's no any haram or anything like this. Can do it. Okay, that's it for today. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.